Hi there, Mr. Yoon.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. My name is Ralf Fletcher. I'm the CEO of Topco Media, Top Empowerment.
Well, nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining me for this Q&A in the media room. So we've got a couple of people listening in, and I'm sure they might have some questions. But I listened to most of your presentation, and it's really fascinating.
Thank you.
I think one of the things that has come to light is that there seems to be a sense of urgency to create meaningful transformation in South Africa, Africa, and the world. And looking at your relatively short participation in South Africa, you've been able to have a meaningful impact in really accelerating meaningful transformation. Was that hard? Was that easy? I think a lot of people are saying, how do we get other leaders to emulate your speed of action? Is it from your culture?
I can tell you a couple of things about your question. So first, I grew up in Korea, South Korea, in 1960s and 70s. You know, you all know Korea. We had the Korean War in 1950 through 1953.
Yeah.
So after 3 years war, the Korea is very small, a seventh of South Africa, the territory-wise. But all the bombs and the poured into small country is the amount of bomb more than the entire Second World War. So everything was destroyed, and we started from the scratch, ash. So I grew up from those days, and amazingly, we had a great leader at that time and president, and he made 5 years economic growth plan and clear plan, and shared with all the people, and he by himself drove all the economic the stakeholders how we can grow together. So Samsung grew together with them, and other Korean brands like Hyundai and many different brands we developed together. So those days we had a target, right? If we can achieve a target, then there is a big kind of reward. If we don't achieve the target, there was no penalty. Just encouraging, hey, let's achieve the target type of thing. That continued over 20 years.
Yeah.
When I elementary school, middle school, high school days, I just watched how South Korea grew up with the strong public sectors and the private sectors and all the people. And when I joined the Samsung, is every year. Personally, I had a new roles and responsibilities, because one time, like in the late 80s, the personal computer is a new technology, brand new technology, like we are saying 5G. So every year, Samsung grew, expanding to a new technology. So I was assigned a new team, task force team for 1 year. And after 1 year, I had another new task force team. So it's very much structured. So for 30 years, I was trained, target, how we can achieve, how you can take all the resources put together, efficient way. Well, I mean, it's not my special the opportunity. Many of Samsung, the executives, my level, trained like that for over 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So when I joined South Africa team, 2017, as I said, I saw the shortfall, and I saw what's the target, And I said, hey, Fluvi Shivanda is like a great colleague working with me. And we worked together and asked my leaders, hey, how can we make all our resources and achieve the goal? So what I helped the team is something like this. Hey, we are electronic companies, and we are making things and the smartphones, fridges, air conditioning. So don't try to do something completely new, which we don't know, right? We are not specialists out of our territory. So I said, hey, Fluvi, I can get global best practice into our country. So tell me what's our goal and what's our current situation. Okay, let's go that path. So utilizing our full resources, either from local South Africa or South Korea, or sometimes I took from USA and or Germany. That's one way optimize our own resources. And the more important thing is the consistent feedback, like every week. We set up, hey, team leaders, let's review what's our progress. If we achieve the progress target, fine, right? And there is some reward type of thing. If we don't achieve, as I shared it with you from my young child days, no penalty. Okay, how can we do more? So that's a type of, I think, Samsung DNA, innovation. So versus looking at why we have this problem, right? Why we have this pandemic? Who created this type of thing? We don't think that way. How quickly? And what resources can we use? That's Fluvi helped me a lot to play this transformation journey. So I didn't expected we can achieve level 1 contributor on triple B within such a, but again, we didn't do anything completely new one. We are doing our normal daily things, and that has been supported by the DTI, the equipment investment program. So actually, I got your question, the same question from many of our industry leaders. So tell me, you were almost at the lowest level of triple B. Years, how can you achieve that? I don't have magic, but we are doing, and the sustainability of our level 1 on the triple B will be continued, because we are not completely separate thing. As Fluvi said, e-waste, right? Electronic waste is something we can, and we have actually duty and obligation who are selling a lot of smartphones and TVs, fridges in our country. So that's what we are trying to create a new business with multiple entrepreneurs. And you know what? I'm really happy working in South Africa, because the government sectors, when we brought, hey, can you help us? Because private sector alone cannot recruit the right people and the right the company. So they are helping, and they, even more than that, they are matching the fund to create those new jobs, e-waste, for example. So that's why I talked a little too long, because I really want to share this type of experience to all other companies, global companies, international companies. Although they are our competitors, I don't mind. We need to go.
And I mean, do you think that there's any lessons? Because obviously South Africa has been able to learn from the South Korean best practice and innovation to drive transformation. Are there things that you've learned about South Africa that you think other countries could learn?
Well, many things. Actually, I love South Africa. First, right, and let me bring what I really think. Beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
We have the most beautiful scenery. As you can imagine, out of my 32 years in Samsung, I traveled almost over 150 countries in the world. We have the most beautiful country in the world, I can tell you. And second, we have the most warm-hearted people. Think about, we have a very difficult situation, not just South Africa, and a very high unemployment rate. But the people, right? It's always approachable and
engaging.
But yes, amazing people. Beautiful, most beautiful scenery and amazing people. And the recent thing, the people are complying with the national lockdown. And keep following the notion of stay safe. It's unbelievable. We see, I don't want to talk other countries. There are a lot of resistance, but our country, we are following. And now we have a leader as well with his risk-adjusted strategy. Right, there is a national lockdown, which we all appreciate. So, one thing I want to add, right? What we have a better thing compared to other countries to need to learn is a self-confidence. I see the most of the parents, right, in South Africa are very keen to educate their children. As I shared briefly with you, South Korea, we had no natural resources at all. So only education. Education helped Korea become top or top 20 globally now, economic ways. And we great leader. We don't have such the great leader like Madiba. So it gave us education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. So I want to add, this country, our country has a great, the bright future. It's not next year. It's 20 years, 10 years type of thing. But I want to, all South Africans have a strong confidence. Why? As I told you, really nice people.
So I mean, it's really interesting you're saying that, because I think that it was almost like, how do we move forward to economically thrive like South Korea did, and Japan very similar as well. And it seems that a culture of investing in ourselves, of education, but the biggest tool that I see for doing that is connectivity. And you play a big part in that with your electronic solutions. Do you think that we need to be more aggressive with our goals and targets during this period, as opposed to worried?
Well, I think our government is following that path, right? Always announce a new direction and communicate to the people. Yes, one thing is you said aggressively, and I can say more structured.
Okay.
This is actually what I'm working with my team. All right. What we can do and what we can achieve is sometimes different. Yes, we can do a lot of Internet of Things and as I said, artificial intelligence, right? We know in South Africa, we are very creative people and culture.
Yeah.
We know we have a lot of, the famous, the businessman or entertainment in globally. And what I'm saying is the more structured. How can we see the progress we are targeting? And if it's not achievable at this stage, then what we need to do. So that's what I think. Yes, agree. As you said, this should be a little more aggressive on tracking and monitoring and fixing it.
And I mean, obviously Samsung's invested in South Africa. Is that investment geared to a future thinking for Africa? What's behind the level of investment? Because it's significant.
Yeah, well, in terms of investment, right? Yes, I mean, business, as I told you, we need to survive and grow.
Yeah.
To sustainable business. But if we are only looking for the profit and our own growth, we cannot, it's not sustainable model. So for example, we have the TV manufacturing factory in Durban, KZN, and that's our investment. And that fact, I really talked with our government side. The way Korea grew through the exporting business is like we are making a lot of good TVs here, but South African market and how we can ship to other countries, neighboring countries, and Africa.
Yeah.
But there are, the tariff or duties associated. We need to have those collaboration, and we are willing to help with public sectors. So that's our investment.
Yeah.
We have kind of the South Africa in terms of the location in the southern part over here, and this can be a route for the actually Europe and the route to the Asia. If we can develop some manufacturing, the investment, this is a perfect location for me in terms of heading out to Africa in the future, and Europe and Asia. So why in terms of logistics, this is it shouldn't be behind any other countries.
And I mean, I know that you're into TVs, but also you're into the VR glasses that we profiled at one of our other events. And I often think, where will this event be or eventing be in 5 years? It will be with, I'm sure, with those glasses, right? That we'll be not looking at computers, but we'll be experiencing events like this through that. So, I mean, for young entrepreneurs, for young people studying, where do you think the world is going in terms of technology? And if you were young again, what would you be studying?
Well, if I'm young, I think I'm still young. If we think age 100 ages, so I'm just slight over 50, so I'm still young, but good question. Now, I want to personally want to be a software engineer, right? Because like CISO, we saw, and he's, as I told you, future of our country and our generation in the future. So why is that? Like now, hardware is there will be more innovative hardwares than we are thinking, right? So we will launch TVs and new smartphones with innovative hardware. Well, software is kind of a quantum jump, right?
Yeah.
That's something will change our future life. So probably it's already happening. People don't use a keyboard or a smartphone keyboard much, just a voice command.
Yeah.
And just to say, hey, turn on my TV, channel 5, channel 11. That's what's happening, and that's what we are trying to bridge between Samsung more of a global the direction, and locals in South Africa.
It's amazing. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And like you, I think we want to, part of this event is about sharing best practice for all organizations. And I think that we'd love to be able to share your message through our different platforms. How open are you if other CEOs or leaders want to discuss what you've done with you? Are you open for meeting and collaborating with them?
Yeah, I'm open, and actually, you know, the most of our key business partners, we have a smartphone, television, and they are more of you know, telcos or retail partners, and yeah, well, we when we have you know, chat, dinner, lunch together, we talk about how we can collaborate more over the future technology, and as we invited the CEO of Nelson Mandela Foundation, Selo Tang,
Yeah.
and he and I to the Kilimanjaro as a part of Yeshiva's centenary, like 2 years ago. So yes, I'm open and I'm willing to share, and that's something. Give it back to the South Africa and to the next generation.
And I mean, for those leaders who maybe haven't acted swiftly enough yet, what would your advice be to them? Because maybe there's some fear or some.
Well, I didn't have that type of experience. If we meet and not just because I'm Sung Yoon, you know, Samsung is a well-known brand in my position, CEO of Samsung Africa. And, well, good thing is as a local brand, Samsung is well accepted and being loved from South Africa and the other African. I'm covering all sub-Sahara territory, so they are friendly. And all the CEOs, when we talk any possible collaboration opportunities, it goes. So and again, I'm willing to participate if you have another platform to share what we are doing now. And I'm not saying we are everything is perfect.
No.
We are a lot of mistake and try and errors, but we are willing to share.
Yeah, and you're transparent enough to put yourself out there and engage and grow, because it's a journey. I think that's the other thing. It's a journey. It's continuous.
Yes.
I just want to personally thank you for getting involved in this summit and for sharing those insights and for personally coming and really, you know, getting behind transformation and empowerment and showing from an international perspective what's possible and how quickly it can happen, because I think we need to speed up the rate of transformation. Yeah,
that's actually a couple of times when I had more of a public exposure. Every time when we launched our new iconic model, every year I said, they are copying many of our technologies. That's fine. I mean, that's I don't want to, you know, to protect and you know, the blocking some other companies are following. But please copy Samsung South Africa's transformation and became level 1 contributor of triple BE. No, seriously, I challenged it a couple of times, but they didn't follow.
Yet.
Yes.
So it's so great to have you on board. Thank you very much for your time. We're very, very grateful, and we really appreciate your support in terms of what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.